All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I have to give all praises, all honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Wakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into how Yahweh Bashim Yahushai created all things. Alright, so without Yahweh, nothing would be. Nothing. Okay, it's because of the Most High Yahweh, everything is. Alright, and without Him, there would nothing be. So this is this lesson is to glorify, the Most High Yahweh, who the world stubbornly calls Jesus Christ. Who the world stubbornly calls God and Jehovah. Alright, Salaki. Alright, so that is the name of the Most High, who the world stubbornly calls God or Jehovah. His correct name is Yahweh. Job chapter 38 and verse 2. Okay, Job chapter 38 verse 2 on down. Who is this that darken counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Alright, because, the Lord was breaking it down. But he said, stand up like a man, gird up your loins like a man. See that? Because before you come to serve the Lord, alright, in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7, it says, the Lord tells us through what? Through who? Solomon. That the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You see? The fear of the Lord. All right. Also, before you serve the Lord, you got to be a man. All right. You gotta be strong in this thing. You see, and to you women out there, to the daughters of Zion, to the righteous sisters out there, you gotta be strong-willed. You can't just let your enemy just say, "Oh no, you're black," and just say, "Okay, yeah, you're right." Nah, man, you gotta you gotta stand up for yourself. Don't be ashamed of who you are, and especially of our power. All right, because you gotta understand that the Israelites are very special people. Okay, are very special people. The so-called blacks, Latino, and Native American are literally the sons and daughters of Yahweh. Okay, that's literal. You see? So let's go to verse 4. Right here, Job chapter 38, verse 4. Alright, check this out. Where was thou when I had laid the foundations of the earth? Okay, so question mark. So this is Yahweh, alright, mocking our enemies, mocking the so-called white man, alright, Esau, the Edomites. Okay, saying, where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? With a question mark. Declare if thou hast understanding. Okay, so the Lord's talking to our enemies, alright, and specifically Esau. Alright, because the heathens are our enemies as well, but right here specifically Esau, because he thinks that he's God. Alright, So the Lord is mocking him, saying, where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? So where was these crusty Edomites when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai was creating the planet Earth? Okay, they weren't even created yet. Alright, they weren't even created yet. You see? Alright, this is why the Lord says, where was thou? Okay, where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? See, question mark. Declare. So that means give an answer. Say something. See? What's your answer? Say something, What are you going to say? if thou hast understanding. Yeah, if you're Mr. Know-it-all. See? So the Lord's saying, where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Since, since the so-called white man, since you guys think you're God and all that, since you think you're all that in a bag of chips, declare. That means give an answer, because the Lord's saying he wants to hear, see? So right here, where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare. See, so give an answer. If thou hast understanding. See? Alright? So give an answer if you're Mr. Know-it-all. Since you're all that in a bag of chips. You see? Alright? If thou hast understanding. Right. Okay, because the Lord wants to hear it. Let's hear it, Esau. Where were you when the Lord was creating the planet Earth? Where were you guys at? Let's hear it. See? Verse 5. Who had laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Yeah, because our enemies can't even measure the earth. Okay, they can't even go, to the bottom of the ocean. There's some spots in the Amazon, rainforest. Okay, the forest in the Amazons that they haven't even searched out yet. But yet these clowns think that they're gods. You see? Or who has stretched the line upon it? Verse 6. Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? And who laid the cornerstone thereof? See that? Because these Edomites and heathens are saying that, that there's no God, and everything just came from a Big Bang theory, which is completely false. It's false and incorrect. Job 38:7. When the morning stars sang together, see? And all the sons, okay? And all the sons of YAHAWAH shouted for joy. Right there, okay? Check this out. This is the key word right here. Sons. There's an S at the end of the sons. Alright? Remember, when there's an S at the end of a word, it makes it plural. What does that mean, plural? To you simpletons, it means that there's more than one, because Yahawashi has brothers. Okay, there's 144,000. Okay, and they're walking the planet Earth right now. Right now? They're here right now, baby. Oh, absolutely. Alright, not all 144,000, because some are in the spiritual realm, resting, waiting for the word from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to come down here with the rest of the elect. See? Alright? Job chapter 38 and verse 7. When the morning stars sang together, okay? And all the sons, okay, sons, plural, okay? All the sons. Alright, when all the sons of YAHAWAH shouted for joy. See? Okay, when all the sons of YAHAWAH shouted for joy. See? Sons, because there's 144,000, baby. Alright, the only begotten son, what you guys read in John 3:16. Alright, the only begotten, that means the first. Okay, that means the first. Alright, doesn't mean it's his only. It just means that because Yahawashi was the first. But remember, there's 144,000. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Let me just go get that whole chapter here. And Colossians, let's see here, real fast. Okay, so this is in the, we're going to go into the book of Colossians, okay? So right here we have the book of Colossians, chapter 1, and let's go down to the, let's see here, chapter 1, let's go down to the, Colossians chapter 1 verse 11 on down. We'll start the 10th verse. Colossians chapter 1 verse 10 on down. That ye may walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High Yahawah, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyness. See that? Because this whole thing is about suffering. All right, this whole thing is about suffering. Because we went off as a nation. All right, we went off as a nation. So this whole thing is about suffering. All right, verse 12, giving thanks unto the Father Yahawah, which he had made us to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light. Okay, so who are the saints? The Israelites. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. See? Verse 13, who had delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. See? Verse 14, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. Alright, because that's something that the elect, remember, the elect are very special because their sins are covered by the blood of the Lamb. Verse 15, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. Okay, that's the elect. Okay, they're the first spirits ever created. Is the elect. Alright, verse 16, for by him were all things created. See, this is the point right here. Alright, Yahawah, gave the blueprint to Yahawashi, and Yahawashi, the 144,000, the angels, created everything. Okay, the planets, the animals, you mortals out there. Alright, the oceans, the mountains, all the soil. Imagine all the flowers and plants. Imagine all the vegetation, all the fruits. Okay, all the vegetables. Okay, animals. Imagine all that. Look at how all the animals are, with their fur and everything, how they have different, check out how all these animals are. All right, they're made to perfection. This is something that you gotta realize out there. These animals are they're made to perfection. See? Colossians chapter 1 and verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven, see, and that are in earth. So both, okay, because the Lord is the creator of all things, in heaven and in earth, the spiritual realm and the physical realm, visible and invisible, okay, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. See that? So all things were created by him and for him. All right, because the Lord created everything just because, the Lord didn't have to have these animals and mortals on the planet. Okay, the Lord just did that for his pleasure. He thought of it and he did it. That's why you guys gotta be very thankful out there, because the Lord don't need none of us. Remember that. The Lord created things, just because he wanted to. Not because someone said, hey, you know what, create that. No, it's for his pleasure. You see? Colossians chapter 1 and verse 17. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. See? Because it's because of YAHAWAH is why everything exists. Alright, because if it wasn't for Yahawah, starting with Yahawah and his son YAHAWAH, okay, nothing would be. Alright, YAHAWAH, the angels and the 144,000 created everything. Okay, all the the angels, the demons, the principalities, all the spirits, okay, the galaxies, the planets. You see? And now these Edomites are trying, Esau's trying to fight the Lord. That's just pure insanity right there, But this is a must see. This is a must see right here. Colossians chapter 1 verse 18. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn, the elect from the dead, and in all things that he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father, Yahawah, that in him should all fulfillment dwell. Because it's all about YAHAWAH. Okay? It's all about YAHAWAH. This is what you gotta understand. Alright? It's all about YAHAWAH. The whole book is written of YAHAWAH. The book of Psalms chapter 46 verse 10. Be still and know that I am Yahawah. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Right. So this is what the Lord is telling his believers, okay, the hopeful elect. Alright, be still and know that I am Yahawah. So yeah, remember, you don't gotta worry about our enemies. Okay, you don't gotta worry about getting guns and trying to figure out, okay, who's this, who's the agent, who's the undercover. Don't worry about it. The angels got it all dialed in. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, YAHAWAH, the angels know who everybody is. Alright, the angels know who's real, who's a clone. Okay, you think the angels don't know? Don't even start, Esau. But remember, the stage is yours, so you have that window for a little time. you know. But remember, you know, uh, just because certain things are not revealed don't mean that the angels don't know. Okay, and Yahawah Bashim Yahushai don't know. Okay, the Lord sees all things. The book of Psalms, chapter 46 and verse 10. Be still and know that I am Yahawah, the Most High. Alright, I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. See that? Because the Lord's coming back to put respect on his name. This is what you gotta understand. The Lord's coming back to put respect on his name. So you gotta really understand that. Okay? So the Lord's coming back to put respect on his name. Huh? Because people don't know about Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, but they're about to, and they're gonna know that he's a very terrible power, a very powerful power, who is nobody to mess with, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. See, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord Yahawah Bashim Yahushai are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So the Lord sees it; He knows everything, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. Okay, so you can't hide nothing from Yahawah Bashim Yahushai. Alright, because if you think that you can hide from Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, just because you go in an underground bunker, you keep some secrets and stuff like that, you don't think the Lord don't know? Shoot, the Lord knows all things. See, because His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. See, so that's heavy right there. So the Lord sees everything. Huh? So that's it on today's lesson. Without Yahawah, without Yahushai, nothing would exist. Alright, it's because of the Most High Yahawah, everything is. Alright, He is our creator. Okay, He is the Most High Yahawah. Alright, so with that, stay prayed up, and remember, don't forget to thank the Lord. Alright, thank the Lord. Yeah, sure, you may not have that $1 million house and Corvette and all of that, but the thing is that do you have your food? Do you have your basic essentials to survive? You know what I'm saying? Alright, this is something you gotta understand here. Okay, do you have your basics to survive? Basically, and the Lord's gonna always make sure that you have everything that you need. You may not have everything you want, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have what you need. If you're a true believer of Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, okay, you're gonna have everything that you need. Oh, absolutely. Okay, you're gonna have everything that you need. Absolutely. Because those of you that are lacking and stuff, okay, did you ask the Lord? Are you lacking faith? what's going on with you? What's the deal here? You see, if like in the world, when people get in trouble, they when people get in trouble, they ask people for help, right? They go to a lawyer, they ask their friends, their family, hey man, what do I do? Let's say somebody never got a flat tire before. They got a flat tire. They might call their family members, their friends, say, like, shit, you know what? I don't have a tow truck company business. What do I do? Okay? Because you're calling for help. Right? Right. So how come you're not calling on YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai? For faith, for understanding, for patience, for discipline. You see? So this is why the Lord is right there, The Lord is like, hey, like, I'm right here. How come you're not asking me, So that's why the Lord's like, yo, what's going on? I'm right here. How come you haven't asked me? You see? All right. So, remember, the Lord can hear your prayers. Those of you out there, who are faking it, being phony, the Lord's gonna know. All right. The Lord's gonna know. All right. You can't fake the Lord. Okay. You can't fake it with the Lord. You see? All right. So, that's it on today's lesson. And remember, YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai is our creator, and the world is about to meet their maker, and that's literal. Okay, that's literal. Oh, absolutely. So with that, stay prayed up, keep the faith, and ask the Lord. Okay, ask the Lord for what you need. Be sincere. Be straightforward. Because He already knows what you're going to ask before you ask it. Why is that? Because He's the one putting you through it. So with that, that's it on today's lesson. Stay strong on your feet, soldier. Shalom.